Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing one of the most unique and underrated tier 8s in Blitz, the Type 59. This is a tank that some of the OGs remember back in the day as not only one of the most expensive tanks to buy, but also one of the most overpowered tanks when it was first released into the game. However, it has obviously since then faded into obscurity, mainly due to power creep. I mean, look at all the tanks that have gotten power creep throughout the years. I remember when the M6 Experimental was considered incredibly OP, same for the IS-3 Defender. And while both of those tanks are still decent now, it's mainly because Wargaming mega buffed the IS-3 Defender's armor, same for the IS-3 Tech Tree. There's just been so many buffs to these older tanks, the IS-6, the IS-5, the IS-2SH, all received big buffs recently, and the Type 59 was one of these vehicles. What got buffed on the Type 59? Well, two different areas. First of all, the armor got quite a substantial buff. The armor is actually quite impressive on this tier 8 now. We can see here that its upper plate is upwards of 190 thick on flat ground, and even the lower plate's upwards of 180. So if you angle this vehicle properly like this, the upper plate is now 208, the lower plate is upwards of 180, and the sides are still 213. That's not to mention the incredibly good turret armor as well, which is only, 240 at the weakest and upwards of 400 at the strongest. It also features good gun depression. So, yeah, in general, the Type 59 has really good armor for a medium, similar to that of a T-54 Mod 1. And when you pair that with the fact that it also is the only tier 8 in the game to feature a special ability, Adaptive Concealment, yes, I know that the Soul Eater and some of these other tanks do have, like, a special ability when you drive on desert sand, you drive faster, but like, who cares? Adaptive Concealment is an actual ability that makes a huge difference in the gameplay. Not only does your tank get unspotted 3 seconds faster, in 7 rather than 10, but it also allows you to see when you are spotted immediately and who spotted you. All of this is massive. It's absolutely massive information, and it allows you to deal with anything thrown at you much easier than, a normal tank, for example. And a lot of people don't realize this about the Type 59. It's the only tier 8 that has adaptive concealment. And that's huge because, at tier 10, there's quite a few vehicles that have it now. The Leopard 1, WZ-132-1, CS-63, and the 121B all feature that mechanic. And what that means is that it's not too rare to go up against a tank that features adaptive concealment in tier 10. But in tier 8, for example, this game here, I am the only vehicle on both of these teams that feature this mechanic. It's not rare, or it's incredibly rare in tier 8 to run into any tanks that have this mechanic, because the only way you're going to fight them is in tier 9, where you go up against tanks like the Hawk or the Sharfie Chair 4 that have it. But yeah, at tier 8, it's such a unique ability. And because of that, you just have a big advantage over your opponents when you use it properly. So let's see what we can do in the Type 59 in this first game on Molendyke. We're going to move up here, and we'll see. We got the Brask sitting in the back. What do they have? They have 3 mediums, and I have support. I have Tank Destroyer support. I also have a Forest Witch moving over here. So I'm actually going to play fairly aggressive. Let's see. Oh, there you go. We got the Astron. There you go, nice 289 damage shell, and you can see the mechanic already working, showing me that I'm spotted. We're just going to chill here. Is the Astron going to try and YOLO? Yeah, how'd that work out for you, dude? Oh, you're getting bonkered. And as I mentioned, this tank actually has good gun depression at 7 degrees, so you can actually poke ridgelines pretty easily and get out a lot of damage. Now, this Astron I'm pretty sure is out of shells, but even if they're not, they definitely are now, so we're just going to drive over and get the clear. Or not. It's fine, though. Our Forest Witch and the rest of our team will. Alright, let's move over here. See if we can get some damage maybe into the enemy Super Hellcat. Move up, move up, move up, and... oh, I hit a rock. That sucks. Alright, well... kind of a waste of my adrenaline. Ooh. Ooh. I see that AMX AC over here. Let's aim it on that. I don't know if I can HE it, but free 265 damage into that player. That's nice. They're going to have to push up or they're going to die, so that's pretty sweet. Our reload is 7 seconds, which means that I will be unspotted by the time I reload. You can see the mechanic here, right? That T-23E3 has spotted me. And my reload is 7-ish seconds, so the moment I get my shell, I'm also unspotted, which means I can just poke again for free. There's the enemy Eagle. Ah, almost hit him. Alright, let's move up here. See if we can get some more damage out. We're up to 1100, which isn't bad, but definitely nothing crazy in terms of damage in this game. Let's see. Got the T-34, who's running away, aiming in a high explosive on the rear. Ooh, we did pen that. I'm really surprised, because that was like a 50-50. But we penned it, and we actually did a lot. 400 damage. Alright, well, I would assume the 4 switch is going to get the clearance of that player. We're going to move over here on the enemy K2. And, for example, we can see I'm not spotted right. Oh, well, I guess I am spotted, but not from the K2. What? I don't understand. We weren't spotted. How did I get... I got blind fired and penned? That's crazy. That's actually so bogus, bruh. That's bogus on so many different levels. Oh, well. I'll give the K2 credit, but that's bogus. All right. Let's move up. Got the T-34-2 right over here. And we're going to push behind that player. Not able to pen them with a high explosive, but a 285 shot will suffice. We have the AT-7 in front of me. Let's push this player. Pen them in the lower plate. Yeah, how's that play working out for you there, dude? I don't think it's going very well. Yeah, we get a bounce, because as I mentioned, this thing has very, very reliable armor. There you go, another nice pen. The AT-7 on paper is a really good tank. It has decent DPM, actually really good DPM, 3,400. It also has good penetration, but the problem is it has that big old hatch, and that hatch kind of ruins the tank's armor quite a bit. So all that's left is the K2, who we're driving behind now. We're going to aim it on the rear. There you go, nice 308. Reloading. 3, 2, 1, bonk, another shell. Up to 3,200 damage so far. Pretty good game. Yeah, this was a really good first game for the Type 59. You can see how the tank is quite nice. Yeah, the gun is a bit derpy on its aiming time, but the gun depression, the alpha damage, the mobility, and the armor, this thing is legitimately better than the Object 590. And it's funny that everybody thinks, oh, the Object 590 is the best tier 8 medium, right up there next to the Vickers MBT. But no, I actually think the Type 59 is better than the Object 590. You know, the Object 590 does have a little bit more armor. If we go back over to the armor profile while we're waiting to load into game, tier 8, medium, here's the Object 590. We wait for it, and you take a look at the upper plate. Actually, you know what? The 590 doesn't even have better armor. It's 190 millimeters on the upper plate, which is the exact same as the Type 59. The turret cheeks are also about the same. I mean, no, the turret cheeks are actually kind of insane on this vehicle. 250 at the weakest is actually crazy. But the actual upper plate of this tank is the exact same as the Type 59. The gun depression is 1 more degree, but apart from that, you don't have the special mechanic, and your lower plate is much weaker at 140 versus the 180 that the Type 59 has. So I would still argue that the Type 59 is a more reliable tank than the 590. It has more capabilities with the special mechanic. So here we are, second game. Up against us is a bunch of tier 9s, which is not necessarily something I like to see. They have 2 tier 9 mediums, two mediums, not 2 tier 9 mediums. They have a 274A and a Type 59. Okay. Well, we are going to start this game by actually moving up a little bit aggressive here. Sometimes I like playing aggressive, sometimes I don't on this map. The reason we're playing aggressive on this one is because we have a tier 9, and they don't. Well, we both penetrate each other, and unfortunately my driver died, so I immediately have to use my repair kit. But that is fine. I hope that our 92E1 doesn't immediately bleed themselves out. We got the 274, which we do get a nice pen into. Now we can reverse a bit. Oh, it's a stock 92E1. Oh, that's not good. I am losing confidence in my team every single second I play this game. What? Okay. Well, we do have the Yo over here, at least. Is this 274 going to try and YOLO behind? We're going to find out. No. Are they going to YOLO over? I'm not really sure what their game plan is here, but I'm just going to try and aim it on the enemy Type 59, which, ooh, almost able to hit your corner there. There you, what? That was a perfect shot! It was a perfect shot, dude. And this guy's AFK. Of course he is. That shell I hit onto the corner of that Type 59 was the perfect shell. I mean, you guys saw it. It went right into the corner, and it didn't pen. Also, our Yo is legitimately killing himself, which really sucks, because there's not much I can do about that. Loading in a high explosive on the enemy Waffenflieger. We do have the 92 at least alive still, so that's good. Bro, please stop blocking me. Okay, we have the enemy Type 59, which we can't pen the corner of there. Damn, that thing has way better armor than you would think. Let's see if we can hit the 274 really quickly. Aiming. There you go. Nice. That player's gone. We're doing okay so far, even though our Yo appears to be really bad. We haven't bled too much HP. We've done a lot of damage. We got the Vipera up top, and that player's dead. I thought that E75 was right there. It looked like he was, but he's obviously not. We have the SU-130 covering me. I'm going to head this way, because I don't really want to deal with any of that. So let's head over here. let's see, we got the E75. What I'm really hoping is that the Type 59 tries crossing this, and then I can spot them. Let's see. Yep, there you go. Beautiful. Loading in a gold shell to guarantee the pen, and let's hope our tank destroyers actually do something. Perfect. That actually went exactly how I wanted it to. I wanted to bait that guy out into the open because he thought I left, and then have our tank destroyer nuke him. And, yeah, we played it to a T. Okay. Well, our team's still not doing great, but because that Type 59 is now a one-shot and I'm still pretty healthy, it means that I can move up over here. And especially with the ISU moving up, I should actually be able to quite confidently get away with this play. So, let's see. There you go. We got the enemy. Type 59. Easy clear. And even though they do pen me in return, we obviously won that big time. Not sure why they still tried playing aggressive. My nose is really itchy right at the bottom of it. Alright, let's move up here. And let's see if we can get behind maybe the G-Sor. A little bit of damage out into that player. They're right there, so it should be a pretty free bleed. Aiming. Boom. There you go. 289 damage. Pretty free. The ISU gets the clear. You know, it's pretty rare that you have tank destroyers that actually, you know, make the game enjoyable, but this is one of those few times when that actually is the case. Nice shell into the 75. This is why we run calibrated shells, so that we can reliably pen tier 9 heavies. 2,400 damage now dealt. There's 2 tanks left on the enemy team. SU-130 gets 1 pen. We're just going to push behind the 75. There's the Waffenträger. I'm actually not spotted by that player, which is a little surprising. That player's dead. And I'm going to try and ram him. Ah! We lost a lot of health, but the SU-130 was able to get it out just before us. Either way, 2,700 damage in this game is a really solid result. And the Type 59 did a good job. You can also see how incredibly strong the enemy Type 59's armor was when we were trying to pen it. I still can't believe that one shell bounced. That was literally like the most beautiful shot ever into that guy's track wheel. And, or not the track wheel, we hit like the right on the corner. You can go back and watch it. It hit right the corner that I was trying to hit, and it just didn't pen. So, oh well. Classic Wargaming armor moments there. But in general, you saw the armor. It's really impressive. This tank with its standard, like, 200 mils a pen, really can't reliably cut through the other Type 59's armor. And the thing about mediums in Blitz is that most of them don't have a crazy amount of pen. Like, I think 200 mils is pretty average for the mediums class. So it means that most mediums, apart from, of course, a Chimera, which has like 220 millimeters as standard pen, will actually struggle to cut through your armor on flat ground pretty reliably. All right, well, here we go. Normandy is a fine map for this tank. Because this vehicle actually has 7 degrees of gun depression, it means that we can work the Type 59 easily on Normandy Hill, where most Soviet, mediums don't really have that gun depression. This tank does. So let's see what we're able to do here. The question is, where is our team going? And it looks like they are going to the upper half of this map. I'm not the biggest fan of that, personally. I'd much rather hold the mid-hill, but I don't really have a choice now, do I? So what we're going to do is we're going to move into this bush really quickly. This is a great early game spotting position, and that right there is why. And because we have this mechanic as well, I can see who is spotting me if I make any plays. So let's see if that Chimera decides to overpoke. There you go. Easy shell into the Chimera, back into cover, and we actually have the Borsig who shoots that guy as well, so I'm really happy that our tank destroyers are once again actually doing a decent job. It's very rare to have teammates that help you, but we're getting stuff done. Alright, well, let's see. Got a 640 bounce, that's from the enemy ISU. As we went over, this thing's turret armor is actually pretty dang good, so you can get those bounces. Let's see, we got the Vindicator right over here. Boom, there you go. Vindicator bounces me. I'm not worried about the Vindicator. I'm not worried about the stock 53. I am worried about the Chimera. That tank is a big threat, and we're going to aim in on the Chimera. Unfortunately, our shell doesn't pen. The one downside of this tank is the poor penetration. I will say that is a big downside that you will have to worry about. This thing has pretty bad premium pen. It's only about 250 mils of APCR, which means that vehicles like the Chimera are actually going to be a bit of a struggle to reliably cut through. But, thankfully, it doesn't have too many big downsides, so you can still deal with most of the enemies pretty easily. Did my IS-3 die? No, my IS-3 is still alive. Okay, well, I know the Vindicator was over there. However, I don't see the Vindicator anymore. Could be just the fact... No, okay, the Vindicator did leave. I was going to say could be because tank destroyers just have busted camo values, but clearly the Vindicator is just not there. Alright, Vindicator turned, and I'm going to shoot the Chimera. They do hit me back for 280, however, they only have 230 health now, which means that I can just roll around the corner, and we can get the easiest clear of our life into the enemy Chimera. Pretty good stuff. We're up to 1,800 damage now. The enemy Vindicator shoots our teammate in the IS-3. I get to the side of the Vindicator. Aw, that was a really goofy shot there. It won't matter, though. IS-3 should be able to get the clear, and even if the IS-3 doesn't, we're going to reload, aiming on the Vindicator, and there you go, dead. Alright, well, all that's left is the IS-3. Of course, the ISU is going to aim it on us. Will I get Amoract? That's the question. No, I will not, because not only are they running the stock gun, but they shoot a high explosive shell at me instead of actually loading a standard shell. Alright, well, let's aim it on the side one more time. Boom, 280 damage. That puts us up to 2,482. We actually assisted 1,300 as well, spotting the enemy team and distracting. So, pretty good game. Over 2,000, or 3,000, like 800 combined. Pretty good stuff. Take a look at the post-game results. There you go. How many credits did we earn? Actually, a pretty good amount. 87,000 for a fairly average game for the Type 59. So far, 3 games, 3 victories, and a really good experience in this vehicle. Let's try one more game in the Type 59 and see if we can keep it up. But you're definitely seeing where this mechanic is really nice. You get unspotted faster, which means that you can deal more damage, right? 3 seconds is a huge amount of time, especially when your reload is faster than 10. Because the thing is, normally, if you're in a medium and you shoot somebody, and you get spotted, you have to wait until you're unspotted before you can poke that bush and shoot them again. With this tank, it allows you to get unspotted faster, which means that you can poke sooner, which means that you can then deal more damage. And that's actually really nice because, you know, you save 3 seconds over and over and over. That can really make a big impact at the end of the game. So here we are, final battle up against us. We do have some tier 9s. We got a Gonkavicha, which is an incredibly scary vehicle. We got a Foch, we got a 50 TP. And they also have a Charioteer, LT-432 Pershing, and Tiger 2. Okay, well, they only have 2 mediums, but the problem is I don't have any medium support. I'm the only one. And if my team doesn't go to mid, which it doesn't look like they are, then there's no way in hell I'm supporting them. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, no, our T-77 and the rest of our team looks like they are not going to mid. There's no way I'm going to mid. It's just not happening. I don't like playing my medium to the heavy flank, but I don't really have a choice. The problem with this map is there's no real area for me to hide my medium on this flank of the map. Looks like my ML2 might be going mid, but still, the rest of our team's going over here, so it's hard for me to really make a justification. Got the Pershing in mid, and wow, that was a pretty nice shot there. I'm really surprised that hit. Good example of where the gun on this tank is pretty solid, actually. Got the Foch. Okay. Aiming. Nice. 259 damage shot into the Foch's track wheel. And because we can see all the heavy spotted over there, now I can actually cross this and support my team on this flank of the map. Got the Gonk. Ooh, we got the Tiger 2 over here aiming. Boom, 273 into the enemy Tiger 2. That's a stock Tiger 2 as well, so should be pretty easy pens into that vehicle's turret. There you go, another 286. Bleeding out that player quite a bit. Okay, aiming again. 3, 2, 1. Ah, unfortunately my accuracy is not working an incredibly good amount right now. We got the enemy Gonk over here. Okay, let's aim it on the Tiger. Just poke a little bit further. Boom, there you go. Easy shell. My RNG is working, and everything's going well. Let's see, we got the Gonk, which I'd love to be able to get a shot into, but looks like I don't even need to, because they're dead now. We have the 50 TP, which I can't hit. They're too low down. We have the LT-432, though, which we do get a very easy 290 damage shell into, and because they sat in front of the Conway, they lost all of their health. So far, pretty good game. Can we move out of my way? Thank you. Alright, well, let's see if we can get some shells into the enemy Foch and the 50 TP. The Foch is definitely a bigger threat, so I think we're going to go for the Foch first. Let's go, 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 go. Well, I don't think we have a choice, actually, but we can aim it on the 50 TP, get a nice 280 damage shot into that player, and if that Foch does try and roll behind me, I think we'll be okay. Let's just poke this guy, and wow, there you go. Look at the armor on this thing. I angle it, and the 50 TP actually bounces my hull. Like, that's crazy when you think about it, that we just got a bounce from a tier 9 heavy. And because that thing has a cooked reload due to its ammo rack and everything being damaged, we're actually just getting free bleeds into him. So we'll just reload. 2,300 damage dealt so far. Get to the side. There you go, 98 damage shot. And there you have it, another really good game for the Type 59. This is a great tank. And sure, we're not ripping out 3, 4K damage games, but none of the mediums in these lower tier games do, unless I guess you're in like a Chimera or, you know, something OP like a Skoda T27. The Type 59 has the mechanics that allow it to just be an incredibly enjoyable tank, and they allow you to influence the game because you are knowing when you're spotted, when you're not. It's just a really nice tank. And you saw the armor works, right? We angled against that 50 TP and dude bounced off my upper plate. There's not many tier 8 mediums that you can actually do that in, apart from, I guess, maybe the 122 TM. So in general, I really like the Type 59. It's definitely got some downsides. The penetration is pretty poor on the premium and on the standard. But the gun is nice, the gun depression is great, the armor is fantastic, and that mechanic makes it so incredibly unique. So, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you have this tank sitting in your garage, try it out. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.